Hello and welcome. This is Sunday, 11 o'clock Swedish time. I'm sitting here in my comfy chair in Sweden, looking out to a sunny day. So, hello. Can you hear me, Anna-Stina? Is everything working as it should? Please give me a sign that you can hear me. Okay, I will wait a little bit to see that everything's working. Looks like it, but you never know. I'll go into my Facebook on my phone to just check. Okay. Can I get a sign from someone that it's working? I don't see anything. Yeah, okay, I'm here anyway. Looks like it's working. Okay. Great. My name is Evakarin Wallin. I live in Sweden. And I have been on a journey for the last 30 years plus to what I thought was becoming a better person. But on the way, I realized it's not about personal development. It's not about becoming better as a person. It's to develop as a person. And because what I found out during my journey, which was a big relief, was that we are, all of us, good enough just because we're being people living here on Earth. We don't need anything more to be good enough. But that is one of the big challenges with most people, is that we don't feel good enough. And it brings up a lot of challenges, a lot of fears. And also what we tend to do is we tend to run away from those feelings because they don't feel comfortable to us. And this is the main topic I'm going to talk about today, and that actually those fears and obstacles can actually be the biggest gifts to us. So, excuse me. So, for most of my life, I was trying to run away from fears and obstacles and problems because they felt so uncomfortable, and I didn't know what to do with them. And my biggest wish was that I would not be feeling fear anymore. And now I can see it's the most stupid wish ever, because fears is actually information from our subconscious to our conscious mind about something that we need to look at. And when we look at it, we have a possibility to grow. So I have been working as a coach for nearly 20 years. I have, during my years, developed a simple method of how to transform limitations, obstacles, fears into possibilities. I call the method freedom-based mindset. I'm just going to mention that here. I'm not going to go into it any more than that, but I am going to give you simple tools on what to do when fears and obstacles shows up. But how do we know that there is an obstacle? How do we know that it's fear we're facing? Because sometimes we like challenges as well. Some people like to do the crosswords, and some people would like to do bungee jump. There's something in challenges that we like. And I believe that when we know we're going to survive, it's thrilling. But when we don't know if we're going to make it, that is when the going gets tough. So if we go to a theme park, if we watch a movie, we get excited and we can feel fear, but still we know we're going to survive. But we have our ego part, and that says that we don't know if when we meet new things in our life, real life, the ego is not sure if it can support us, keep us safe, and therefore it says, watch out, maybe you're not going to survive. So in my point of view, the most important thing for us is to listen to what's going on within us and see what is there, becoming aware. That is the most important thing of all. So before I go any further, I want to start with a meditation. So if you're here, just try to sit as comfortable as possible. You can stand or lay down, but so you can relax. And if it's possible, close your eyes. So imagine that you connect with the light up somewhere in the sky, and on the top of your head you have an opening to let the light shine in. And it's bright light, and it fills your head. And you can sense how the light fills your head, beaming out through your eyes so you can see more clearly, beaming out through your ears so you can hear clearly. And the light continues down into your throat area, and it beams out through your throat so you can speak and communicate better. Continue down into your chest area. And feel the light expand in your chest, in your heart. And sense how the light raises your vibration. And find the most comfortable spot in your heart that is there. And just notice it as it is. Don't have to do anything, just notice it, be with it. Continue down into your solar plexus. As the other light releases the tension. And go down even deeper to the sex chakra. And see how the chakra opens up, expand, release tension. And continue down to the root chakra. To open up and release the tension. And let the light move down into your legs, down towards your feet, and down into the earth. And let the light go deep, deep into the middle of the earth, where you can find another kind of light with a different kind of quality, which is more like a motherly quality. And let that light go up to the earth, into your feet, up to your legs, into your root chakra, sex chakra, solar plexus, and into your heart. And we have these two different kinds of lights in your heart. Let them blend. And sit with this beautiful feeling. And just be with this feeling, because this will raise your vibration. You're going to feel so much lighter, better, radiant. The longer you sit with this, the more radiant you will feel. Oh, so lovely. This is a short version. You can go as quick as I did, and you can let it take an hour before you have gone through it all. And when you have moved through and you end up in the heart, sit with that feeling, because what you focus on will expand. So no matter how much or little you feel the warm feeling in your heart, just stay with it, because it will expand. And the more you do it, the more you radiate, and the stronger it will get. So, and this is an exercise I'm going to come back to later on in this Facebook Live. So I hope you feel a bit expanded now. So, why obstacles? Where do they come from? Why do we have them? Or why do we have these uncomfortable feelings, and what can we do with them? What's the purpose of them being here? I have a vision, and that is that we all should really embrace our own journey in life, to listen what our heart is telling us, and to question what the outer world is telling us to do. You know, what scientists have found recently is that the heart has brain cells. And when you can think with your heart, it's a lot quicker. Because the one thing that the heart doesn't have, it's the ego. So when you think with your heart, you have contact with yourself, and you can find the best solutions for you, the best choices that is meant for you. And the way to get there is to travel from your head down to your heart. And it's a journey where you will reach a lot of obstacles. And think about this. When you have wanted to do something new, doesn't matter what it is, if you wanted to start your company, if you wanted to move, whatever you wanted to do that was something new for you, it wasn't an easy path. You always come up with obstacles when you're going to do new things. And if you're going to get on track to live your vision from who you are, to fulfill your life purpose, you have been trained when you grew up from your parents and from the other adults around you, from your culture, that certain things is good and other things are not good. They're bad. And maybe they were not good or bad for you. But as children, we just adopt what other people around us is doing, saying, acting, feeling, because what else can we do? We have our role models, and we just take it on. And we even take on what they are, not just what they do, say, feel, think, who they are. Because as children, we're totally open, and we just suck everything in, and we create our personality around that. And then when we grow up and are adults, we think we have everything sorted, that we know how things are. Especially in the young adults, we think we know everything. And hopefully, the older we get, the more we realize that there are a lot of things we don't know. And here are where these old patterns come in, the obstacles the fears, the limited beliefs we have, because that is information from our subconscious to our conscious mind, that there are things that we need to upgrade within ourselves to be able to go on the path that is right for us. And speaking about right and wrong, I want to just give you this idea that you could reflect on where you start to talk about right and wrong, good, bad, positive, negative, because that is the ego's way. Because the ego is not good or bad. It's just it has a function in our lives, and that is to keep us safe. Because the ego is reminding me that I should be here at 11 o'clock because I have promised to do a Facebook Live. The ego tells me that if I'm going to go walk over the streets, I have to look out for cars. The ego tells me that maybe I shouldn't go in that dark alley in the middle of the night in a bad area of the town. So the ego helps me to keep me safe, but sometimes it takes over and it signaling too much fear in inappropriate situations. And this is where we have to become aware, to be conscious of what is really going on. And I see it all over the place that we tend to trust so much to our brain, our conscious mind, but that's a tiny, tiny part of who we are. And the body is carrying all the wisdom we need. So when you feel fear, listen to the body. Where do you feel the fear? Is it in the heart? Is it in the solar plexus? Maybe it's even in the head. And that signals what kind of fear is going on. Many times I have seen that if you have a tense feeling in your head, it's about anger. And maybe you have let other people step over your boundaries. If you feel a heavy feeling in your heart, it's about sorrow. If you have a heavy feeling in your stomach area, it's worry. So if you have a heavy feeling in your shoulders, you take on too much responsibility. The body is speaking to you all the time. It's we that don't listen enough. So when you feel that you're hitting your head against the wall and you're not moving forward and you feel heavy feelings, it's the body that speaks to you and try to tell you something. So if you can just stop doing and start listening, you can get the answers to what you need to understand to be able to move forward. And I'm going to give you some tools today, or a tool today where you can use to release these unwanted feelings, not negative feelings. They're not negative. They bring you information, and that is not negative. They may be uncomfortable. Okay, I can agree to that, but they're not negative. So the formula for creating the life you want is being and action, and the right kind of being and the right kind of action for you. So a metaphor that I often use for this is 5-year-olds. So imagine that you have a lot of 5-year-olds living inside of you. And those of you who have children, you know how 5-year-olds act. They're very impulsive and they can go out playing on their own with their friends, big enough for that. So imagine that you have a 5-year-old and he's coming home. He's been out playing all day with his best friend. And he wants to share something with you because he's so excited. But you are short of time. You are in the kitchen cooking a meal. You're waiting for guests and you're short of time. So you're a bit stressed. So you say to your 5-year-old, well, I don't really have time right now. Can we talk about that later? And he gets so upset because he wants to talk to you now, not later. later doesn't exist for him. So he just, the signal you're giving him is that you're not important. So he gets so upset, goes into his room, slams the door, and he's so angry. And how do you feel? Well, you don't feel good. You regret what you did, but you know that it's important to be on time with the food for the guests. So you just leave it at that and shut down and keep working on your task. But there's not a good energy in the house anymore. Okay, we back up, take the same scenario. Your 5-year-old has been out playing with his best friend all day. He comes in and he's so excited. He wants to share something with you. And you're still short of time. You're doing the cooking. You're waiting guests. But this time you say, yeah, come and tell me. And you bring out a chair and you let him help you with cooking. And there you are talking with each other. You're listening to him. You're answering back. And he's helping you with the food and so excited. And when he feels done, he will walk into his room and play with his gadgets. And how do you feel now? You feel love. You feel connection. You just feel great because you had such a beautiful moment with your 5-year-old. So now, think about your own 5-year-olds living inside of you. That is your patterns from before. Your old ideas about yourself that was once created as protection from you. But now when you're adult and you want to move into a new way of living, they are coming up because they need to be resolved. And what they need is for you to listen, and even better, for you to communicate with them. Because the only thing they want is to be seen and heard, because they believe they have an important message to bring to you. And the more you shut off from that, the worse you will feel. Like the 5-year-old that wasn't listening to. They will go into the room, but they will just ooze out a low vibration. Compared to when you listen to your 5-year-old and you connect and you communicate, it leaves you with love, feeling of love. And this time it's a feeling of self-love. You will feel expanded, lighter, and more radiant. So remember this. If it's one thing you take away from this, I want this to be it. When you feel any uncomfortable feeling, it's information from your subconscious to your conscious mind. And you have an opportunity to release it and heal it, and that will make you freer. Beautiful, isn't it? I think so. So I'm going to give you another exercise. And imagine, or start with thinking about 4 areas in your life that's important to you. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be money, it could be family, it could be self-development, playing golf, doesn't matter what it is. And pick one of them just for this exercise. And imagine, how would you like it to be in 5 years' time? 5 years is such a long time, anything can happen. So use your imagination. And just in the dream world, how would you like it to be in 5 years' time? I don't want you, even if you don't have pen and paper now, you can sit down and write, just start to imagine. And notice how you feel when you imagine this, because this is an important key. I imagine that you will start to feel lighter, happier, more joyful. And just when you sense this nice feeling, just take a photo of it so you can keep it and come back to it later on. And I said that the formula for creating your dream life is being and action. Now we're going to go into action. We live in a 3D world, so we need to work from 3D rules as well. So imagine 1 year ahead, and imagine that you are on your way to your 5-year dream. What need to has happened? And what need to have happened in 6 months' time from now for you to be on your way towards your 5-year dream? And what needs to have happened in 1 month? And in 1 week? And what do you need to do today? Because working with vibration only will not get you there. Doesn't matter how much you meditate, visualize, if you don't take action, you will not go there. You need to take action as well. And action alone will not get you there either, because you need to resolve those limiting beliefs that holds you back, creates your tension in life. So you need both. So when you think about your 5-year dream, if you can think about just one thing that you know will come up and stop you from reaching it. And if you don't know what it is, just look into your history, because that will tell you. And what has stopped you before? And just think about one thing, because we're going to use this in another exercise. It's my 5-step formula. So when you think about this thing stopping you, how do you feel? Can you feel some kind of tension in your body? And as I said before, where you feel it is also an indication of what it is about. So let's say you have a tension in your stomach area. So that's the step number 1, to feel where it's located in the body. And then step number 2, what does it tell you? What is the thinking, the ideas behind it? The limiting belief behind this tension. And I will give you an idea. Whatever you think, behind that, it's probably something like, I'm not good enough, I'm afraid that people won't like me, that I'm not ever going to be loved for who I am, something like that. It's a common theme for us human beings, and we tend to hide it and not tell anyone else because we're a bit ashamed of it, but we don't have to be, because we're so much the same. And step number 3, if whatever you feel, what would you like to have instead? This feeling, this tension, what does it make you long for? Well, if it is, I don't feel good enough, it's probably that you want to feel good enough. So just take whatever you feel and make it the opposite. This is what you really long for. Now we come to step number 4, which is the really magical step And that is to send gratitude to the uncomfortable feeling, because it came and gave you information about what you really, really want. And stay here for a while. Sometimes it goes away right away, and sometimes it may take weeks before it goes. Depends on how strong the tension is. But when you feel gratitude, what will happen sooner or later is that you will relax and you will feel calm. And when you do that, you get in touch with your intuition. And when you get in contact with your intuition, you come to step number 5, and that is to get into action, because your intuition will guide you to get into action. It will kick you from within to say, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And you will feel inspired, and you will have this sense of knowing. That's how you know that's your intuition talking and not your ego. You will probably feel it from your body as well, maybe from your stomach or from your heart, because that's where the intuition speaks from. If you hear it from your head, maybe it's your intuition, but it could also be from your ego. And if you have a fear connected to it, it is not your intuition speaking, because your intuition has no fear connected to it. So remember those times when you had this inner knowing, maybe for less than a second before your mind started to chatter. That was your intuition. Practice following your intuition, because it will help you to find the right place and the right people for you, to get you on your path that you have decided you want to go. When you act this way, you are in control over your life, even though sometimes it feels like you're not in control, because there's so many things happening around you. And for you to stay in control is not to try to fix things in your outer life. It's to see how you respond to things that is happening outside of you. And if you use this simple formula, you can really, really transcend limitations that you carry within you in a simple way, without force. It's like a loving way, loving towards yourself to do it. And you don't have to argue with other people. You don't have to try to make other people change, because whatever you see in the outer world is just like reflections of different parts of you. So as soon as you start to think about other people, what they think about you, or what they do to other people, you are losing a bit of yourself. So instead, come back to yourself and see how you feel, how you react to it. And only you can do something about it, and that is when you stand in your power. So bring this to a close. When you think about what you really want in life, when you listen to your heart, let your heart think, that is when you are on your path. When you feel uncomfortable feelings on your journey, that is information from your subconscious to your conscious about something that you need to up-level within yourself. An idea you have that you've outgrown. It was good for you one time in your life, but it's not anymore. You need to upgrade yourself and upgrade the way you see yourself. And you need to get into action, an inspired action from your intuition. And don't be afraid of making the wrong move. If you say, I'm not sure if it's intuition that's tell me to do this. If it's safe, like not jumping out for a cliff or something like that, just try it on and see what happens. Make life a mystery, an adventure, to just see what happens and see that the outer reality is just mirroring, giving you constant feedback of what is going on inside of you. So play with life. Take yourself seriously, but not as seriously at the same time. You are important, and still make life a play, sort of an important play. And take a step forward, see what happens inside of you, what information do you get from your feelings. Transcend these feelings, as in the 5-step formula I just gave you, and see what comes up. Because when you have these feelings, it's also always blocking your vision. So when you release the tension, the unwanted feelings, you will get a broader perspective on things. Suddenly it's like, I can see clearly, or I understand now. It's like everything comes brighter to you. So that is really all I wanted to share. If you have questions, please comment in the sections. I will be checking in during the day to see if I can answer anything. If you have personal questions, just PM me. I have websites in English and Swedish you can check out if you want to. It's my name, evakarinwallin.se or .com. And take on life's adventure and follow your heart's, your life purpose that comes from your heart, so you can be joyful in life. That's the most important thing there is, I believe. And you can play with other stuff as well in life. You can play with money, career, but remember that that is not the important stuff. That is just play stuff. The most important stuff is to find yourself, find your inner truth, and follow that. Thank you for watching this, and I look forward to hear from you. Bye-bye.